proposed resolution number 18012, a resolution reconsidering proposed resolution number 17895 as it pertains to authorizing the city manager to execute a Chapter 380 economic development agreement between the city of Port Arthur and BKPA Ltd., requested by Councilmember Segler. Mayor Pro Tem.
Move approval.
Councilmember Thomas.
Point of order.
Hold on a second. I got to get it on the floor.
Point of order.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve proposed resolution number 18012. Questions? Councilmember Lewis.
Point of order.
He seconded with that.
Huh?
He seconded with
Yeah, you did when you.
I did not second. You can't make the motion. You was not on the prevailing side.
Well, he can. Can he make the motion if he wasn't on the prevailing side?
No.
This is
Hold on,
just,
then, Councilman Lewis.
we're making the motion to get it on the floor.
No. No.
Do you want me to answer, or you want to go ahead and answer?
Yeah,
I want you to answer it correctly.
go ahead.
Give me an opportunity. I can go ahead and pull up the ordinance, but in order to get the item on the
floor.
agenda, well, let me finish. Let me just finish. Give me my opportunity. In order to get the item on the agenda, it has to be brought back by a member of the prevailing side. It has been requested by the member of the prevailing side. If you want to be detailed in keeping with Robert's Rules of Order, then someone from the prevailing side can make the motion that it be brought on the floor. The ordinance that we have speaks to getting it on the agenda, but the precise reading of Robert's Rules of Order, somebody from the prevailing side can get it on the floor.
That's correct.
Only someone from the prevailing side can get.
Well, it's on the agenda anyway, so now we're ready for discussion.
No.
No. That's
No.
not what he's saying.
It's on the agenda. In order for the item to be placed on the agenda, someone from the prevailing side had to make that
Yes,
request
they
under
did.
Section 2 of the Code of Ordinances. That's what
Is somebody-
the Chapter 2 of the Code of Ordinances discusses when we talk about bringing an item back on the agenda.
Just
It's on the agenda.
Bringing it back, so it doesn't have anything to do by getting it on the floor. Is that correct?
Okay. Now, you're stating that now that it's on the agenda, to have it now brought back for consideration, that you need some, is that what you're saying
The
that now?
prevailing side. That doesn't change.
We can have someone from the prevailing side make that motion. The person that put it back on the agenda, I'll have to pull out Robert's Rules of Order, but what you're talking about in terms of prevailing side is in terms of getting it on the agenda. It's on the agenda.
City Attorney, let's not muddy this water.
I'm not muddying the
You
water,
have
I'm
to
trying
be
to
on the
clarify.
prevailing side to have this, to make the motion
To reconsider.
for reconsider.
Okay, the motion for reconsideration has to be brought back by a member of the prevailing
Thank you.
side under both instances.
Yes.
Okay, then I need a motion.
Well, with all due respect, Mayor, I'd like to comment.
Oh,
No.
Can
well,
I-
I'm
is
trying
it-
to get it.
What are we doing here?
Let me just.
Are you going to rule on the point of order?
I'm about to rule on the point of order here, and I'm going to let the
Okay.
council. I'm going to let the council rule on the point of order, because if otherwise, I'll get accused of doing something I didn't do. So there's a point of order, and you're going to have to wait until I finish with the point of order. I'm about to rule on your point of order, okay? And City Secretary, his point of order is that someone from the prevailing side has to bring it back to the floor.
Yes, ma'am.
So would you please do a roll call on that? Do you all understand what the point
No,
of
no,
order is?
I can go ahead and tell you that
You
if
got
you
it.
look under Robert's Rules of Order, we've not normally done that when we've had motions to reconsider. We've utilized that rule under Chapter 2 of the Code of Ordinances to get it on the agenda. If you want to go into a technical reading of a motion to reconsider, then technical reading of a motion to reconsider is whoever was on the prevailing side can put it on the floor.
So
we need somebody from the prevailing side to put it on the floor.
Okay, so that would either be Councilmember Scott, Councilmember Segler, Councilmember Albright, or Councilmember Lewis. To
That's
get it on the
correct.
floor.
That's correct.
Is that correct? Yes. Okay.
Do we have to rescind the other motions?
Was it second?
Yes. Yeah.
No.
Was it second?
Did you make the motion?
No.
Councilman Lewis, if you just give it a break for a second here. You made the motion, you seconded, Councilman
No.
Thomas?
No.
Wait a minute, Councilmember Lewis.
You
just
can't do
one
that.
second.
He's not on the prevailing side.
Wait,
No, we're just removing the motion that's on the
just
floor.
removing it, sir. If you
Oh, okay.
stop for a
Motion.
second.
Okay. Remove it.
Technically,
Lord.
Mayor, technically, by Robert's Rules of Order, the first person to speak after a motion.
Wait a minute, he said what he had to say about Robert's Rules of Order. Councilmember Scott, what is your point, Councilmember Scott?
Why is he speaking and he's not on the prevailing
I'm
side?
trying to answer
No,
a
he's not.
question
You don't have to
that
answer.
asked.
You don't have to answer.
Councilmember
The
Scott,
question has-
Councilmember Scott,
This question has nothing to do with this item on the agenda. They asked me a question about who seconded. By Robert's Rules of Order, the first person to speak after a motion is
Yes.
made seconds the motion. That would be Councilmember Lewis.
yeah.
So the motion was seconded, but at the same time he seconded, he made a point of order, which he's now going to rule on.
Wait a minute.
There is no
Yeah.
other second.
I did not second anything.
But hold on a second, let me just share this with you all.
Don't come here and try to accuse me. I did not second anything.
Can we just take a moment and I'll review
We're gonna
Robert's
take
Rules
a
of Order, but
5-minute
my-
break.
just take just a
No,
second.
we don't need no break.
It's
We can go to the next item. We can go to the next item.
City attorney.
Can I?
We can go to the
Can I
next
finish?
item.
We need for you to straighten that one out, Val, we're gonna take.
It's already straight. Here.
Councilmember Freeman,
Here.
Councilmember Thomas. You have a quorum, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. We're going to, the city attorney is going to read, Robert's Rules of Order in reference to the issue that we're having, getting it on the floor, seconding it. Val, would you
Okay.
please?
Section 37 of Robert's Rules of Order addresses the issue of reconsideration as well. The Code of Ordinances addresses it as well. You have two items that you will be dealing with regard to reconsideration. The first issue is how can a matter get on the council agenda? The City Council, the City of Port Arthur's Code of Ordinances states that a member of the prevailing side can bring an item back to be placed on the agenda. That is how this item became a part of this agenda. Because it is also a matter of reconsideration, if you look at a technical reading of Robert's Rules of Order, based on the fact that it is a reconsideration, Section 37 of Robert's Rules of Order will apply. Basically, Section 37 of Robert's Rules of Order says that it can only be made by a member who voted with the prevailing side. In other words, a reconsideration can only be moved by one who voted aye if the motion involved was adopted, or no if the motion was lost. I reviewed this and I also looked at what happens in the event that it is being reconsidered at a new meeting and the same Section 37 applies. Therefore, someone from the prevailing side from the previous meeting needs to bring the item back to the floor.
And what about the second?
Any other member can vote on the second.
Any other member?
Any member can vote on the second according to Section 37 of Robert's Rules of Order, but someone from the prevailing side needs to bring it to be discussed at this time.
Okay, here we go. And if you all would just let us go through the process, then you can get what you want done without. Proposed resolution number 18012. A resolution reconsidering proposed resolution number 17895 as it pertains to authorizing the city manager to execute a Chapter 38 Economic Development Agreement between the City of Port Arthur and BKPA Ltd. requested by Councilmember Segler. And at this point, we do have to have someone from the prevailing side to bring it, get it on the, a motion for approval, and then somebody else can second it if they choose to do that. So at this time, I need a motion and a second to get it on the floor. Councilmember Scott, your light is on. What do you want to do? Can I do that? Ma'am? Yes, ma'am.
I can.
If you turn your light on, Councilmember Segler, it has to be your light, sweetheart. Okay. All right, now I need a second. Mayor Pro Tem.
Second.
It's been moved and second that we approve proposed
Excuse me.
resolution number
Point of order.
18012. You will get to
Point
say
of
your
order.
point of order when I read this. It's been moved and second that we approve proposed resolution number
What-
18012. Now it's open for questions. Councilmember Scott. you've
Okay,
got the
what did she say she's voting on? What did she say?
all I asked for was a motion and a
To
second.
bring what?
And
Bring it on the floor.
to get it on the floor, sir. To get it on the floor, that's all. Same thing I asked the rest of you all for all of these other things. Same thing. Okay, Councilmember Williams.
Thank you, Councilmember Segler. I asked Liz to bring this
That crack took almost 10 minutes. If this doesn't tell you that Councilman Segler is brain dead, then I don't know what will. The citizens of Port Arthur deserves better than this. If you can't see she is placed as a vote and serve no other purpose, then kill yourself. This is what I've repeatedly been trying to tell you. These crooks are controlled, mere puppets. They can't voice their own opinion because they have been paid not to think and just vote. You need to vote these crooks out of office.